0 to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We hit 1 million on YouTube. And if I had to start from scratch, here are 10 tips that I learned along the way, which would have helped me get here faster. It does really well. That is far more important. It's one of the greatest meanings of my life. Forget what you've heard about chasing trends or posting daily. If you want to grow your channel fast and build a loyal community, grab a coffee because this is the video you need. So let's rewind 4 years ago during COVID, when I started from zero. Just like all of us, there was no magic wand, no celeb shout outs. I started a niche. Skincare for skin of color. That niche didn't exist and shockingly still doesn't. I didn't just want to talk about basic skincare like everyone else. I wanted to solve common problems, debunk myths, and get talking about real issues that affected my skin of color family. So that's insight number 1. Niche down so hard that it hurts. Yes, you will alienate people. You will irritate people. Yes, there are going to be negative comments in your comments section, but the people who listen to you need to hear your information, and those are the ones that are going to subscribe and be your loyal family. But if you try and appeal to everyone, you're really appealing to no one. You sort of become a bit beige, you become the same, and why subscribe to you over the next person? So what I would say is find your corner of the internet and dominate it. The first few videos I made mistakes with. They were generic and they were boring. They were not skin of color focused. And unsurprisingly, they didn't do very well, as everyone was doing it. So why subscribe to me? However, I was nervous to niche down. I was scared that I would irritate people and that there would be backlash. And the problem with social media is you can't control what people write about you on the internet. You can't control how people feel. And if they feel discriminated against because I'm focusing on skin of color, I really didn't know what the outcome of that would be. But the truth was that skin of color was completely different. It behaves differently. The physiology is different. And I've thought if I just stick to the science that I'm going to be able to benefit millions of people. And that's what ended up happening. Right now, I have 1 million views per day on YouTube, which blows my mind. I can't even think of what 1,000 people looks like in front of me, let alone 1 million a day. I mean, I'm never going to be able to wrap my head around that. But to think that I'm helping those people in a way that no one else has ever been able to help, it's one of the greatest meanings of my life. So the question you're probably asking is, Dr. V, wow, 1 million views a day, how does that translate into money? So I actually made a vow right at the beginning that I didn't even want to monetize my channel. I don't accept money from any brand ever. It's a non-sponsored channel. That was the stance I wanted to take because guess what? If I did the same as everyone else, I'd sound the same as everyone else and I'd be giving beige information. I wanted my information to be authentic, to be science-backed, and not to be influenced by money. Unfortunately, money can do that. And so even at the beginning, I didn't want to monetize the channel for that reason until I realized I was being penalized for not monetizing the channel. And I put it out to my Instagram followers and they said, monetize it. And I said, okay, I'll monetize it, but the money I want to give to charity. So this then became something that this like beautiful feeling embodied this channel. People would watch the ads that were even skippable because they knew the ad revenue was going to charity. And it just gave like us more of a community feel. This is something we don't really talk about, is to sound different and to give people a different feeling to what, the vast masses are doing on social media. So really think about that when you're creating a community. Feeling do you want the people watching you to have? And what impression do you want to give? And what tribe do you want to build? This all really you do from the beginning. It stems from inside you. What kind of life do you want to live? And what kind of world do you want to create? Because honestly, your YouTube channel becomes your world. The people in it are invited into your world. The next thing I would say is to start with pain points, not passion. Here's the kicker. Don't start with what you love. Start with what is hurting your audience or upsetting your audience. I didn't create videos about what I liked. I was laser focused on my audience's need, how to treat hyperpigmentation, how to avoid irritation. People want their questions answered. So give them answers with proof, with demonstrations and storytelling, and you will be adding value to their lives, and that's why they'll stick around. Next one is to post strategically. Now, this is a bit of a controversial one. It's not about posting every day. If you have to pick between quality and quantity, quality wins. See, the thing is, there's a lot of clickbaity type thumbnails out there, and you click on it. But if you don't deliver on the promise of that thumbnail, you've broken someone's trust. And when you break your followers' trust, they will not only stop following you, but they will really have bad feelings towards you. And honestly, what's happening online spills to offline. They will be telling everybody about what they haven't liked as well. So you don't want that sort of bad feeling to seep into society. So deliver on your thumbnail promise. Do not break anyone's trust. Having said this, at the beginning, I was posting 5 YouTube videos per week during COVID. I'd closed down my clinics. We were hemorrhaging money, and I was thinking, what can I do? I still have my laboratory and I can teach. So I literally, in my bedroom, you'll see my old videos, literally my mobile phone propped up on my desk in front of, natural light, and just teaching. I would teach on open pores. I would teach you on best and worst products from The Ordinary. That became a viral video. It hit 1 million views, and I couldn't believe that. That was really one of my earliest videos. So basically, even though I'm telling you quality is essential, quality meaning keep your promise of the thumbnail, but quantity at the beginning is incredibly important. And that is what gave me my boost. The times that I've grown the most is when I've uploaded long form videos quite rapidly. So really it is the two together. But if you have to pick, and right now I'm only doing 1 YouTube video a week, and I do probably a reel a day, I physically have not got the energy to do what I did at the beginning. Right now I'm running a big company. We have our own skincare brand. I have 40 different products that we've launched in the last few years through my online social media community. So I don't really have the time to be doing what I was doing at the beginning when COVID was around, and I had a lot of time on my hands. But if you do have time and you're really passionate about growing your YouTube channel, I would say post 5 YouTube videos a week for about 6 months. Get that momentum going, get that passion and that community going, and then you can scale back. Then I went down to 3 videos a week, then I went down to 2 videos a week, and now I'm at 1 video a week. Don't worry guys, I'm not going less than 1 video a week. That's how I would recommend you do it. Number 3, this is a tricky one. Don't be afraid to call out poor practices in your industry. When I first started out, I was really scared to call out brands for ignoring skin of color or making products that were actually bad for our skin and worsened our problems. I really didn't know what the backlash was going to be. I didn't know what the legal implications were going to be. And if you think about it, when you make a video, millions of people potentially could watch your video. It could actually seriously damage a brand. It could be, solely because of your video. I was really scared about, treading these waters. I didn't know anyone in the YouTube industry. I still don't know many people in the YouTube industry. There was no one really to ask. But what I learned and what I would tell you is, if you're going to call anything out, make sure you back it up with science, back it up with data, back it up with your thought process, and always give them an out. So you'll regularly hear me say to a brand, I love these things about it. I really don't like these things about it. This is why I approve of it, or I don't, or I disapprove. And then if you do X, Y, and Z, so the improvements that I believe would be beneficial for my skin of color family, then I'll make you a free video to recommend your product. So you give them an out. And that way you're doing it in a very nice way. You're not doing it you're being critical, but you're doing it in a positive way that's going to improve lives of your skin of color family, or my skin of color family. For you, it's whatever your community is. If you're doing it in that way, it's very difficult for anyone to really come for you or have really any backlash, because you're coming from a loving place and a good place. And intention is a big part of this. Your followers are going to see through you if you have bad intentions. Your intentions are everything. And this is why often, even with my own company, I will recommend somebody else's product before you buy my product. My products are expensive. They tend to be the upgrade to what's available. They tend to have more actives in them, but they don't tend to be your first line products. And your followers will see where you're coming from and your intention very clearly. So always bear that in mind. Number 4, I've touched on this before, skip the fancy gear at the beginning. I remember when I first started my YouTube channel, I didn't know what I was doing, right? I'm 41 years old. We grew up in a time with no Facebook, no social media, and even YouTube came a little bit later on. And I really just thought it was very sort of like polished people on YouTube, beautiful faces and, were doing very glamorous. I really didn't think this was going to even be a place for me. Someone who's older and really has no idea about social media and has no idea how to film. It's COVID. People can't even, work with each other. So I did a course by Robert Blake. I believe that's his name. It was like the $700 course, and it went through step by step how to create a YouTube channel. Just the practicality of it. And I've learned that actually your mobile phone was pretty good, actually. Audio was decent, lighting's decent. You can pretty much get what you want to get across. And so this is how I started. And honestly, those videos, if you look at my videos 4 years ago, some of those videos got millions of views. And other videos I make today, which are very professionally made, beautiful editing, I put so much effort into, don't get the same views as that. And so it's not really so much, yes, the polish will give you an idea of the knowledge of the person in front of the camera, but YouTube is about connecting. It is about being authentic. And there's something about just you in your bedroom or on your mobile phone. You can just have jokes and you can just be silly and you can just be a bit more off the cuff. To do this in front of a professional setting is slightly more intimidating. I mean, I've been doing this for 4 years, and there are times where I get a little bit stage fright. There are other times when I'm just, totally myself. And my followers will tell you, they'll be like, Dr. V, you seem really relaxed in this video. I got that the other day. I was like, yes, it's taken me 4 years to relax in front of the camera. But if you're not a natural actually doing it in front of your mobile phone, just you, having jokes as if you're talking to your best friend, does really, really, really well. That is far, far more important than having the latest DSLR camera or the latest Rode mic or the latest whatever the thing is. So that is something that please, just remember that, so that you start now, start today. Don't wait or procrastinate or think too much. Before we move on to the next tip, which is a really important one, if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel, write down below any questions you have about starting your YouTube channel, and I will do my very best to give you, answer everybody. Everyone that already has subscribed to this channel knows that I am in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every YouTube video that I launch. So when you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when to come and ask me your questions. So please do that for me. I found this crazy stat that 90% of my viewers haven't subscribed, and we still managed to get to 1 million subscribers. So it just made me think, if more people subscribed, wouldn't that just be incredible? So please do that for me. It would mean the world. Right, moving on to the next one, which is stories over stats. This is me talking to you as a doctor, as a scientist, as someone who loves data and loves stats. The human brain doesn't function that way. The human brain retains information, absorbs information, and retains information through stories. So whenever I try and teach, even if there's a lot of long words, even if it can be really complicated, I will either use my hands to tell the story, or I'll tell you my own personal story of how I've overcome certain skincare concerns, or I'll talk about case studies, so patient stories. Whatever it is, make it personal. This is where the connection happens. And there's this really strange thing with YouTube. When you're watching YouTube, and when I watch YouTube, I feel like I have a relationship with the person I am watching. I feel like I'm talking to my friend, like my friend and I are having a discussion, or I'm learning something from my friend. It doesn't feel like I'm, too forced. It doesn't feel too data heavy, even if it's a tough subject. So this really is kind of the trick and the magic with YouTube, is keep it personal, use stories to make your point, and you will build that relationship with your followers. So the next one is a really important one, and I wish I'd known this before. Tap into underserved audiences. They will be the secret to your success. So for example, no one was talking about skin of color from a medical perspective. I wasn't competing with 1,000 other creators. I owned my own lane and even published a book with HarperCollins on skin of color. If I didn't have this niche, then I would never have had one of my dream opportunities with my dream publisher to create such a beautiful piece. So even if your niche feels small, don't feel scared. It's good. It means there's less competition. Don't copy paste anyone. It becomes so boring for the audience and really obvious. The next one is the magic word that we've all heard about, and we just don't understand this mysterious word, and that is the algorithm. I would say stop chasing the algorithm, because the algorithm we will never understand. What you need to chase is your audience. And the way you do this is by serving them. You serve them the best information, the most value-added information, and in the most interesting way. And that's how I built my community. Then you build it through email lists and you give out free ebooks. And so you take your online community offline as well. So one thing I would say with the algorithm, even though it can change overnight, and it does, and we've gone from long form to short form, and even, the type of thumbnail we use, everything, changes every couple of weeks. One thing has remained consistent, and that is that videos over 10 minutes long tend to perform better than videos that are less than 10 minutes. And I don't know what it is about that 10-minute mark, but videos that for mine that were 7-8 minutes didn't do as well as those that were 11, 12 minutes. So you'll find some of my videos at the beginning where I knew this and I'd sort of like get to the end of my video and I'll be like, oh, that's only 9 minutes. I will talk to you for an extra 2 minutes just to like get over that 10-minute mark. Because I think that what happens is your view time increases. And once your view time increases, it tells YouTube people are enjoying this video, push it out to more people. And then once you start getting YouTube recommendations, that's the sweet spot. Because YouTube recommendations means that your video is going out to people who don't know you. And that's the holy grail, right? Like you want to make sure you've got videos and content for people who already watch you, but you also want to have this type of videos that new people who've never seen you before would be interested in. And that's the other insight I would give you, is to make sure you have that short view lens, and you've got your long view lens. So you've got two types of videos taking place on your page. So the next one I found to be very important, but not everybody does this. And I say, teach the why, not just the how. See, anyone can teach you how to do something. So I went deeper into the why ingredients work together, why some ingredients shouldn't be used at all. That's when people trust you, because you're empowering them with information that they can use in their lives to ensure that they're buying the right things. They're not wasting their resources on things that are not good for them. They're not completely reliant on me. You actually want to empower your audience by teaching them why, not just the how. The next one I think maybe got me into a little bit of trouble, and that is just keep it 100% real. No fake influencer vibes, no kind of like overly polished scripts. Be off the cuff, like come from your heart, and people will see it. It's a really strange thing with humans. I mean, at the beginning I was scared. And I would literally just read off. I would like read the script, learn the script, and I'd look up and I'd say the line, and then I'd read the next line, and it was exhausting. It was so tiring, and I'd be doing batch five in a day. And actually that's not fun. What I learned to be more fun and then to resonate better was just to be myself. Yes, get your point across, but say it in your way. Say it with your stories. People get it. They get it more. They enjoy it more because they're having a conversation. They're not being lectured to. And I think that's also an art, is how do you get your points across, teach, but in a way that's conversational, in a way that's, enjoyable to listen to, and not like you're kind of being told what to do. My final tip is probably the most important tip, and that is, before you even start your channel, write out 100 ideas for your channel. If you can only write out, say, 10 ideas, you've created a series, not a YouTube channel. It means it's too niche. You need to come out slightly to think, what would the channel be if this is one of my series? What would the other series in a channel look like? What would those playlists look like? That's really important for you to have a concept as to what's possible for you. Because honestly, even when I started, I wasn't sure. I was thinking, should I focus on common conditions? Should I focus on ingredients? Should I focus on brands? And what I learned was that these are all playlists. These are all sort of series that happen in the wider channel. If I'd only done ingredients in skincare for skin of color, that would have been too niche. But I wouldn't have known that had I not have done that initial stage where I've written out 100 ideas of YouTube videos that I think would do really well. So that is my top tip. And I actually learned that, I think, from Robert Blake as well. So shout out to him. I mean, he was fantastic. Go and get his course as well. This is a non-sponsored video, by the way. As you know, all my videos are non-sponsored. Thank you so much for watching. And please do come and join our community. And I look forward to seeing your questions below. Love, Dr. Sophie.